It's Loving the Strange with Carrie Jones and Sean Farrar. Loving the Strange, a podcast for weirdos and those who want to be weirder. Embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Loving the Strange. Check us out. Hey, welcome to Loving the Strange, where you get to enter the world of Sean Farrar and Carrie Jones, where Carrie has the hiccups and Sean just laughs uproariously at her.
That's not true. I laugh at myself more than you, baby.
What was that noise? Did you F-A-R-T?
No, that was my chair arm rubbing on my desk.
It sounded...
I can't replicate it for some reason, but I swear to God, that's what it was. It was not me.
Not believe you.
That was not a human made noise. That was not a human bodily made noise.
I don't believe you. Hey, welcome to Loving the Strange. In this week's episode, we're not going to talk about Sean's bodily emissions. Instead, we're gonna
good reason for that.
We're gonna talk about the great unsolved mysteries of the world.
Of the world.
Ooh.
So, if you don't have anything better to do on your Friday night, thanks for being here.
Or early Saturday morning, in the case of Sayar and all
true.
our friends in India.
I could not imagine waking up and listening to myself.
I know.
First thing in the morning.
I know.
Thank you, Sayar.
Like, what does that do to his whole day? I can't imagine it's a good thing.
Well, it's only once a week, so it's not like it's every day. But still,
but the whole
Sayar's
day.
Saturdays must be wrecked after this.
Yeah, so everyone who is on my Facebook now knows that I put lipstick on.
You did?
Yeah, you can't tell.
I can't tell.
Yeah, because you're Sean. But I've looked like a vampire ever since I put lipstick on. Like, I swear it gave me like deeper eye circles and like...
Maybe that's the hat, baby.
No, I don't... Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. There you go. Back to normal. Can't even see your lips anymore.
Anyway, so welcome. I've been watching a lot of videos lately about how French women and American women do their makeup. And it's an internet hole that I have fallen down. And I feel like that might be one of the great unsolved mysteries of the world. How? Yes. How the Kardashians managed to make all American women have this special like contour.
And big butts.
No, that's not the thing. But like how they managed to get all American women to like do that contouring thing. Like they put the highlight by their nose and then like the things here and the here. And they all look like really intriguing Barbie dolls or Bratz dolls. Doug Marshall says, maybe vampire lips are more kissable, Sean. Are they?
Man, Carrie doesn't need to put on anything for me to want to kiss her lips.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, hi. So,
hey.
Sean.
Yes.
When you were perusing the world about, or the world via the internet, about unsolvable mysteries.
Yeah.
Old, unsolvable mysteries.
Yeah.
Did you find anything really, really exciting?
I don't know. It's so many of them are like the same old thing, like D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, I'm really tired of that, man.
So my first one, I went with something that I think I've heard about before, but not in this unsolvable mystery thing. And it's what happened to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum paintings.
What?
Well, thanks for asking, Carrie. Okay. In 1990, two men disguised as police officers broke into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, Massachusetts. And
do you have a source for this, babe?
It's BuzzFeed.
Okay.
Best source ever. Anyways, these two men disguised as Boston police officers restrained the night guards and proceeded to steal 13 priceless artifacts before escaping, obviously.
And they never caught them?
At the time, in 1990, those 13 priceless paintings were worth $200 million.
Ooh.
No, never been caught.
Ever?
Ever.
Have they found the paintings?
No, never seen them again.
Really?
Yeah. And they thought the night guards had something to do with it, but for whatever, it doesn't say specifically why here, but they were quickly eliminated as
potential suspects.
co-conspirators.
I wish that were me.
And that's attractive to me because I love that. I love the perfect crime story.
Really?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what else is cool about that?
Mm-mm.
And this is, people might not agree with me, but it's kind of cool that those paintings are probably hanging on the wall of some crooked ass mofo or somewhere in the world, or many of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like their whole house is full of these priceless paintings that were stolen at one point or another.
It's kind of amazing to me that they never found them. Like you'd feel like the auctioning of like art would eventually create like a sort of
You know what it'll probably
trail to follow that
it'll
evidence.
probably be like a generational thing where somebody inherits a house or something. And they're like, oh, nobody ever told me this was stolen. But I'm trying to auction it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Liz Graves, our amazing friend, said they haven't caught the people who posed as restorers who stole the Tiffany window in our town either. And that was in the late 80s. Liz, was that in the church, like the Episcopalian?
I think so, baby.
That's like one of the coolest, most amazing stories. We have this church that's in our town, and our town is a tourist town. And though it is on the coast of Maine on an island, like it has these, it's had incredible monetary resources and wealth because Rockefellers and Astors and ambassadors and Shaws like have lived here and pumped their wealth into their summer community. And one of our churches is absolutely gorgeous and full of these pristine Tiffany windows. And allegedly, apparently in the late 80s, before I was here,
me too.
Even before Sean was here, a Tiffany window got stolen from the church because the people said they were going to restore it. If I remember the story correctly, Liz can probably tell me. And no one, I mean, it's been like how many years? 40 years?
Liz said it was in the late 80s.
So that's 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, almost 40 years. 30 years. And like no one has found these gorgeous, beautiful windows. Art theft is weird.
It is.
Yeah.
The marketing is what's weird to me. Well, and being able to steal something and then market it.
Yeah.
Of high value, I mean.
Liz said, and what Sean just said is exactly what people who know things told me. That artworks that were stolen are now marked as stolen, and it will get harder and harder for whoever has them to sell them as time goes on. So hopefully the Gardner paintings and the church window will all turn it up. That would be so cool.
A lot of them will eventually.
It takes a special kind of ballsy to steal from a church, I feel.
Yeah, not ballsy. Because any raggedy old thief could steal from a church. But it takes a certain amount of, like...
Cojones? It's the same thing as ballsy.
No, I mean, like, disregard for the sanctity of a church is what I mean. You know?
I feel like I, with my vampire lips and dark eyes, could possibly do that.
You don't like...
I look like I'm from the undead.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've been watching too much True Blood lately.
Oh, Sayre said, your artwork is really amazing, which is the kindest thing anyone could ever say to me.
That's why we got a top-notch security system throughout this whole house.
And that security system is called the Shaw.
You got to go through a laser grid to get to everyone that carries paintings.
Liz Graves, who we just had the mention of before, because Liz is super knowledgeable about all things Bar Harbor. Her husband is one of my favorite artists. We have art gallery things in our house, and I'm very proud to say it. So Doug said the Curse of King Tut's tomb is a great mystery that he has not unsolved.
Yeah. It is. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, pretty much. When I was a little kid, I was really obsessed with King Tut. Were you, Sean? Like, did you
No.
not? You didn't
No.
go through that King Tut obsession phase,
No.
like where you're like King Tut, King. Oh,
No, I'm sorry.
and
I
then
never walked like an Egyptian.
that's a Bengals song.
Not even then.
I remember I was super obsessed with King Tut, and then I went to this museum on a field trip in Boston, and they had like mummies in there, and it freaked me out so
Did you
hard.
say mummies?
Yeah, like
I
mummies.
thought you said mommies.
Mommies, it's kind of the same thing. And like just being in that air, it was like I instantly panic attacked. Like I've never had, I still to this day can't go into a museum that has an Egyptian display without freaking out and having like this really physical reaction, which is an unsolved mystery of Carrie. Because I have no idea why that happens.
We're gonna have to explore that in some of your past life regression therapy.
Sean likes to pretend to past life regress therapy when I'm falling asleep, and it's very cruel of him. It's like he's like, "Where are you now? Are you walking down a long corridor? You open the door. You open the door. What do you see? What do you see, Karen? What do you see?" I'm like, and I'm just completely like, I don't know. It's really pretty. It's an ocean. Or I'm like,
tonight's gonna be about ancient Egypt.
I hope not. Maybe I was a mummy in a past life, Liz. Liz Graves said, Carrie was a mummy in a past life. Possibly. I'm a mommy in this life, so who knows? Chris Walsh said, the biggest mystery is how I got roped into watching YouTube goofs every week. I'm missing Wheel of Fortune.
That, Christopher Walsh, is the most incredible thing I've ever heard, that you're giving up Wheel of Fortune for us.
Pat Sajak will be so jealous, Chris.
I feel like we should be on Spotify now.
We are on Spotify.
Like we should be paid like Joe Rogan's salary. We should have 800 million listeners. Because we're better than Wheel of Fortune.
We are so much better than Wheel of Fortune. We'd be able to guess those things. There was a big Wheel of Fortune fiasco last week. Did you notice that, Sean?
No, I did not.
It was one of the great mysteries of life. So for those of you who don't know about Wheel of Fortune, because maybe you're in another country and you don't watch American game shows, you are a lucky human being.
I haven't watched Wheel of Fortune since at least the early 90s.
I think that this game show has been on since I've been born. But recently, Game of Fortune is kind of like Wordle for phrases. And so people spin a wheel, they pick a letter, they get money if their letter is right, and then if they guess the whole solution, they get a ton of money, I think.
Or a prize.
Yeah. And so recently this week, there was a solution.
Yeah.
And maybe I can do this. Hold on. And it was basically, for those of you who can have visual on this, I'm going to try to screen share it. And people guessed it so wrong. Like so wrong.
Was it like multiple choices? For the same letters and stuff?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Here, let me see if I can get it here. All right, so can you see that?
Barely.
Oh, yeah. All right, so the screen was another feather, new word, blank N.
In your cap.
Sean, don't tell everyone.
Oh, sorry.
And it was like in blank N, and then next word, 4 letters, Y-O blank R. And then blank A blank. And if you're an American, this is a very typical thing that your grandpies say. And the phrase was another feather in your cap.
Yeah.
But these people could not friggin' guess this answer.
Yeah.
So they just kept making up more and more things, and
like what?
I think it was really ridiculous. Like, I don't even remember. Like, another feather in your hat, another feather on your Pat, like they were just like no
Were
one.
they not? Where were they from?
America,
Oh my
but like they just like
They just weren't old enough, huh?
I don't know, and they just couldn't like. Oh wait, here I'm not on the thing perfectly, so let me go down so that everyone can see it. So like they just could not get that it was another feather in your cap. Chris said, if you bring it up, it'll be another feather in your lap, which is probably one of the answers.
That's what it means. Like another notch on the head, boy.
And so people were so mean to these poor contestants who are just regular human beings. And like they're just, humans, and they're here in the spot, unlike Christopher Walsh, not used to the spotlight of the media, and like they just freaked out and they couldn't handle it. And yeah, it was bad. And so then all of Twitter, I'm taking off my hat. All of Twitter.
Oh, you look pretty sexy with that hat.
I look even more like a vampire now, though. All of Twitter was mocking these poor, regular human beings, and it was really sad. And then Pat Sajak, the host of the show, went to their defense, and everybody started mocking Pat Sajak in America.
It's like Wordle with a host.
It is like Wordle with a host.
Especially with today's words, a lot of people burn themselves out and lost.
Dee said that one of her classmates of hers went on a Wheel of Fortune and won.
Nice.
It's kind of amazing. One of my grade school teachers, Mrs. Zito, went on Wheel of Fortune.
And?
Didn't win.
Oh.
If I remember correctly. Christopher said, to be fair, she said hat first. It was wrong. But the following day, GMA played the children's song, and it says hat.
Yeah, oh, not cap.
That's not fair.
Oh, man. So she was old school.
Chris was on Price is Right. Our friend G was on Price is Right. Christopher, you need to be on Wheel of Fortune. Sayer says, it's looking like Sudoku number game my dad used to play. I believe that. There's like that kind of like fill in the blank aspect of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
great mystery of the world.
The cap hat thing is pretty interesting, actually.
I don't know. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sue the Wheel of Fortune?
Are you gonna go with the commonality, or are you gonna want to go with the story?
I don't know. All right, you want to go for an unsolved mystery?
I just did one. You haven't done any.
I know.
You just been rambling about all this other stuff, which makes you very interesting, baby.
You were just so mean, and then you tried to dial it back.
Huh?
We've been watching True Blood, so Sean keeps calling me Sookie. And
she keeps saying she's a vampire. I'm just waiting for her to bite me.
You wish. Okay, so
she takes that sweet blood and drain me all the way.
I don't think I have sharp enough canines today.
No, you don't.
I really
baby, please.
My teeth kind of fail. All right, so one of the many ways I fail.
You don't never fail.
So this is from parade.com, and in my head, Parade is like this little news, like Sunday magazine that came in.
It did come in the Sunday newspaper. Parade.
Yeah.
It was Parade magazine.
Well, apparently.
You are 100% correct.
I
forgot all about that.
It still exists.
Damn. Can I tell you a story about the Sunday newspaper real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Back when I was a kid. Like
80,000 years
13
ago.
13 or less than 13, like 9, 10, 11. On Sundays, the paper was 50 cents, which was big money. My dad would give me 50 cents or $1 and tell me to go down to the store and get a newspaper. So I'd run down to the neighbor's house and grab the newspaper out of the driveway. And then I'd have all that money to spend on chocolate.
John is very sugar focused.
Entrepreneurism right there. Early 80s.
So cute, baby. You're just so cute.
I'm just telling you.
All right.
True life story.
All right. Anyways, this unsolved mystery was kind of intriguing to me, and it comes again from parade.com. Reference link in our podcast notes and on the blog, Carrie Jones Books blog. All right. Blah, blah, blah. So here it is. Ready? It's 1948. It's December.
I remember.
Somebody's walking down the beach in Australia, right? It's Adelaide, Australia.
Yeah.
And they find this body.
A
And it's
body?
a body.
A human?
A human.
Deceased?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
They're walking down the beach and they see a body and it's dressed impeccably. Like no one in our town of Bar Harbor, Maine is dressed impeccably in a suit. Their shoes are polished and their head is slumped against a wall. And there it is, a body. They're like, whoa, you're dead, right?
Did they think they were dead?
Not at first, but they realized they were dead once they got close.
Okay.
And they called the police, as one does usually when finding a dead body. I know that's what I do. And the police are like, oh, it's probably heart failure. No, maybe it's poisoning. There's no poison. Right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And that's the first part. But the next part of this mystery is this person in their impeccably dressed suit and their beautifully polished shoes has no wallet. There's no ID. All the tags.
He was killed by a hooker. That's easy to solve.
All the tags and their clothing are cut out.
Oh.
The police do fingerprints on the dead body. They don't get anything, right? What? Right? Then they they're like, we cannot identify this man. And so they take a photo and they're like, whatever, we're going to put the photo in newspapers. Kind of grisly, kind of gross, very New York Times of them. And so then nobody knows who this person is. But 4 months later, the cops finally are like, oh, look, there's a hidden pocket on the inside of these trousers. And so they look in the hidden pocket that they've only found 4 months later. And there's a rolled up piece of paper. And in it is a piece of paper, from a rare book called the Rubaiyat. I can't say that correctly and I apologize. And it has the words Taman Shud, which means it has ended. So the cops are like looking for a book, like they can't get the book. They can't. It's way before the years of internet, obviously, because it's 1948. So they bury this guy, right? They're like, we don't know who he is, but whatever. They take a cast and embalm him and preserve him, but bury him. 8 months later, this guy walks into the police station and he's like, dudes, I found a copy of this book in the back of my car, which was parked near this beach, Somerton Beach. He's like, I didn't think anything of it, but then I saw the newspaper article, and in his same book is the page that had been torn and placed inside this guy's trousers.
Don't believe.
What?
Nothing.
And inside the book that this guy had was a phone number and this weird code. And the phone number led the cops to a woman named Jessica Thompson. And they're like, who are you? She lives nearby. They interview her. She's evasive. She's like, oh, I'm going to faint when she sees the dead guy's picture. But she's like, I don't know who this guy is. And she's like, but I did sell this book to this guy named Alfred Boxall. But Alfred's not dead, totally alive. And he still has the copy of the book that she sold him.
Huh. So that was a dead end.
Yeah. And the code was totally unhelpful. And even now, however many years later, way many years, almost a century later, no one has cracked the code. And no one knows who that guy was in his impeccable suit on the beach.
Even though it's like a super rare book. Huh?
Yeah.
But you know what the cops failed to do?
What?
If he had a super impeccable suit and somebody cut the tags out, why is that? There's only one reason.
Because they didn't want to trace the suit.
Yeah, because it had this name, and it was probably a hand-tailored suit from somebody of a certain amount of fame, not necessarily fame, but reputation. So he would have known his clients by face and name. But did they go interview all the tailors around? There wasn't that many in the late 40s.
I don't know. I'm not a big connoisseur of information of Australia in the
I'm just telling you,
1940s.
those police failed in that
Well, they
investigation.
probably did suck. Cops often suck in an investigation because they've got a lot of stuff to do.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Christopher said, and the cop went home and lay in his bed and very fairly heard, "Ooh, I am the man with the golden."
I think that all the time, but it's usually in the morning. I mean,
No!
yeah.
Christopher, do not encourage Sean to be naughty.
I am the man with the golden arm. Or it's the golden hand. Or whatever.
No.
What?
Zaire said it was an awesome story. Zaire, thank you. I
It was an
appreciate
awesome
you.
story.
I appreciate you. But that, like, for me, that's one of my favorite unsolved mysteries because it's got a book. It's got a
You love
dead
your
guy.
books, baby.
It's got a code.
You
in the
love your
book.
dead guys. Huh.
I don't even know what that means.
Me neither.
But you said it.
Don't worry about it. Don't put too much interpretation into it. Man.
Do you have another cool?
I have one, but it's another. I'm just gonna tell you ahead of time. It's another like. It's not really a crime. It's more like a war crime, but it's still like, where is it? And it's priceless. And I know you've heard of it. And it's called the Amber Room.
I have not heard. Oh,
yeah.
I might have.
The Amber Room was a room in the Catherine Palace of Tsarskoye Selo.
Oh my god.
I might have some Russian DNA in me, but I can't talk it for shit. Anyways, it's a town in Russia that typically housed the imperial family and surrounding their village.
Amazing.
What?
Can you just try to say that again?
Say what?
Yeah. Like the town.
No. Why?
It's sexy when you mess up.
The Tsarskoye Selo. Tsarskoye Selo. I don't know. Anyways, it's in Catherine's palace, okay? The room was considered an architectural beauty, adorned in amber panels and gold detailing, and it was home to a number of carvings and pieces of artwork. Basically, it was priceless. Carrie did what?
Nothing. I did nothing.
Oh, what? Did you snort?
No, I did nothing.
Well, why is everybody drinking?
Because it's meant to be.
This is a drinking game?
Yes, pretty much.
All right, hold on.
No!
Anyways, during the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941, the Amber Room was disassembled by the German army to be sent to Prussia, where it was available for viewing. After the end of the war, nobody ever saw the Amber Room again. So, what are you laughing at? There's like a private joke going on here, and it doesn't involve me.
I'm gonna start laugh a lot.
What is it that you're doing?
Nothing!
Chris said, oh, you just said snort laugh. She does it all the time.
All the time. All the time. Shut up, John.
So we should go find the Amber Room.
I would love
We
to
should make
find
that our
Amber
life's
Room.
project. Our retirement life's project.
Can we retire tomorrow?
Well, no, we have this 4.5 year plan.
Yeah, we have a
We have to get through.
So I don't know about the rest of you, but we have a child.
Oh my God.
and
We have two, by the way.
we have two, but one's a grown up now.
That's right.
One's self-sufficient. And the other one, we're basically like, we just have to last 4.5 more years.
Yeah.
And we have what we call the 4-year plan.
Well, no, it started as a 5-year plan.
But it's 4 years,
But
4.5 now.
As the school year goes on, the time shortens.
Yeah, well, I think they might end up being a 7-year plan. But we're like, what are we going to do when we can be free? Which is a terrible way.
We're going to go find the Amber Room.
And apparently we're going to find the Amber Room. And
We're going to be rich.
Well, Shani, why do you think we're going to find the Amber Room?
I didn't say I think we were going to. I said that would just be our retirement adventure project.
I don't want to do anything unless I'm going to be successful.
Well, we can make a documentary
Wonderful.
about
About attempt. Oh, we could be like Josh Gates and be like, we're searching for the Amber Room.
That's right.
We don't find it, but we find this arrowhead.
No, we'll be like Oak Island and not find it for like 7 years. Every season.
That's terrible. That's terrible. All right. One of my favorite unsolved mysteries. I don't know if you've heard of yet.
I've heard of all of them, maybe.
I don't believe you because I don't think you're all that all-knowing. I don't think you've quite ascended to God status yet, Sean. Have you?
I can't say.
All right. This is from BuzzFeed.com.
I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh my God. Anyways, from BuzzFeed.com, again, link in the podcast notes, the Oakville Blobs. Have you ever heard of the Oakville Blobs?
No.
All right. In 1994, when you were born, because you're just a wee baby.
When?
1994.
Dude, I was like 30 years old.
I was trying to make you young, babe.
Thanks, baby.
All right. So, 1994, Washington, the state, the town is Oakville.
Yeah.
People are like, whoa, it's raining. It's raining so much. There's 6 rainstorms in this town, right? But there isn't really raining rain.
What?
Instead,
What's it raining?
Gelatinous blobs.
Like, really?
And they're
What was it?
jelly-like.
Like acid rain?
It's an
wild?
unsolved mystery, my friend. So it's like these jelly-like blobs are raining down. 6 rainstorms, right?
Yeah.
After it happens, the people in the town are like, I don't really feel good. And pets are actually dying.
Because they were
Allegedly.
probably out there eating the blobs.
I don't know. And so scientists go and they take the rain, which is really blobs, and inside the rain is human white blood cells.
What?
Nobody knows what it is.
That's weird.
It's the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
Maybe it came from some sort of alien. Maybe some aliens abducted some humans and did some research and then like flushed it down the toilet and they did like a commercial airplane. They toilet dumped over this town.
Dude, I don't know, but it lasted like for 5 weeks.
Well, 6 rainstorms.
6 rainstorms over 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it was like military weapons testing. No evidence. Nothing can support that. But
no, that doesn't even make sense.
And some people are like, oh, they shredded jellyfish. It got swept up into the stratosphere when the Air Force was doing bombing practice. Maybe. But some people think that the jelly, like the blobs, didn't come from the sky. That they just like appeared on the ground.
Yeah.
And in the 17th century, there was a similar thing that happened in which they called those gelatinous things star jelly. And it was like in poetry and scientific reports all throughout the 1600s.
And?
Nobody knows.
It's aliens, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It is.
You're so cute. I love you when you go all like conspiracy theory on me.
It's not Bigfoot. It's aliens.
Maybe it's like Bigfoot knows stuff.
Bigfoot snot?
Yeah, Bigfoot snot.
It's not that tall, honey. He can't blow snot on the entire town.
He like blows his nose. It gets picked up by the jet stream. And then the Yeti in like Mount Everest, their snot ends up raining on towns in Washington. I think it's totally plausible.
From Mount Everest?
Yeah.
Hey, D agrees with me right there.
Well, you and D always agree.
Sort of. Yeah, I know.
D. Harris says maybe aliens were dumping their leftovers. Liz says, I'm a snort laugher too. Also a squeak laugher. Jeez, I can't say that word. This is why I love Carrie. I love you too, Liz. Us snort laughers have to like bond together and make a club.
The Snort Laugher Club?
Yeah, Snort Laughers Anonymous, man.
Why be anonymous?
Well, we're not that anonymous
cute.
if we're outing
You
ourselves.
definitely
right now.
are every time you laugh. She makes fun of my snoring, but I don't make fun of her laughing.
He snores so loudly.
I'm a better person.
Oh, what? Do you have a mystery? Do you have a mystery, my friend?
Barely. Is it a mystery? But once again,
Is it about toilet paper and why some people give it a mullet versus some people give it a beard when they put it on the roll?
Real mystery.
I think it's a mystery. Why do some people do mullet toilet paper rolls and some people
No,
do?
mullets towards the back. Towards the back. And then what's towards the front? I don't even know what it's called.
Beard?
A beard?
Maybe. Bangs.
Bangs?
Bangs.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a great mystery.
It's not. Don't do the mullet. You do the mullet all the time. Now, you know what Carrie does?
That's not true. Whatever lie you're about to say is not true.
You know it's true.
It's not true, man clutching his heart like he's about to die in the podcast.
She is the queen of two sheets.
That's not true.
She won't change the rollout when it's got like 2 sheets of it.
There's still 2 sheets.
I know, but what are you going to do with that? You can't even really dry a tear with 2 sheets of toilet paper. And I always cry when I have to change the toilet paper.
Such a liar.
Anyways.
Such a liar.
So my next mystery is actually kind of news to me, based upon what I thought I knew as it's Max Headroom.
Max Headroom?
Yeah, Max Headroom.
Was that like an MTV thing?
Right, it was. But
can you give background for all of us who don't remember Max Headroom?
It was like this weird little. It was almost an interruption, wasn't it? Where he'd come on and just say something nonsensical.
All I can think of when I think of Max Headroom is a blonde white guy, short blonde haircut, anger.
Yeah, that's right. And he was like AI, like artificial intelligence. You know
Before there really was artificial intelligence, yeah.
And that was actually Max Headroom. That character came first before what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
But that was on November 22nd, 1987. 2 television stations in Chicago, Illinois, were hijacked by a man wearing a Max Headroom mask, basically.
Oh, was that like anonymous before anonymous became a thing?
I guess, sorta. And also, apparently, Max Headroom was much more popular in Britain before it came to the United States.
What?
Which was, for things like that, sort of pseudo-culty things, was so true. It was of that time, right? Like Doctor Who and stuff.
Doctor Who is not a cult. Doctor Who
is
a reality, my friend.
The hijacker first took over one station for about 28 seconds, but never spoke before the signal cut off, and the original broadcast was able to resume. But then later that night at 11:20, he took over a local PBS station and was on for 90 seconds. And he spoke this time. And he didn't really make any sense because he sung a little bit and he talked about showing his naked behind. But nobody's ever figured out who it was.
So that's a great mystery.
To me it is, because just like the ultimate crime, that's like the ultimate prank.
Oh.
Where you don't get caught. So yeah, it's like, yeah, there you go. There's Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Exactly what you described, baby.
He's just very blonde. And
well, aren't we all?
No, we all aren't very blonde, Sean.
I'm just kidding.
He really kind of looks like an American cop. Like, look at Max Headroom. Like,
yeah, but not back then. Cops didn't have that kind of haircut in the late 80s.
Are you sure?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I don't know what this one's
doing. I didn't pay any attention to him back then. He looks like an old man there.
There's like so many Max Headroom images. He's creepy. He was always so creepy to me. Like
Oh, he is. He always was creepy. You're right.
Like I feel like I kind
I
of
agree.
repressed him because he was just so creepy.
It was almost like no matter what he was saying on television, he was just speaking right to you. Like he said your name almost.
Really?
You know what I mean?
No.
No, Carrie. Listen to me. Because it always started with a shake, right? Like his head kind of shaking.
Dude, I legit don't remember him. Like
don't tell me.
No, like I know I have an image of him, but like he freaked me out so much that like I kind of feel like I didn't remember him. Like there he is. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right there. Max Headroom. Play the trailer.
What? Oh yeah, play it.
He's creepy.
Play it.
I don't know if we'll be able to hear it. Can you hear that?
First time ever on DVD.
Max
You can't hear it.
Max Headroom, the complete series.
What kind of show is this?
Where
does all this stuff come from, Bryce?
The components of Carter's mind.
But Max
Computer-generated
Headroom,
Looks like it.
He's a computer-generated person based on
apparently
real.
he was a computer-generated
Two
person.
minds, but with one single memory.
And of
All
course,
14 uncut episodes.
what?
Dee said she could hear it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you could hear it. In my head, Max Headroom is terrifying. He's like the Coke
Yeah, he is.
financier,
You're right. That's
epitome
exactly
stereotype white guy of the late 1980s. Yeah, like he's like terrifying to me. And the fact that he's a great unsolved mystery, I think gives
Hey,
him
that's
too
my
much
own
credit.
personal opinion.
It gives him too much credit.
I don't judge you so harshly. What?
I said, oh my God. All right, I have a new mystery. Ready?
Yeah.
Reincarnation. Again.
How is that a mystery?
Wait. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Reader's Digest. The periodical for all old people in the bathroom.
No. When I was a kid, I used to read that all the time in the bathroom.
Because you're an old person.
From the get-go, huh?
Yeah.
I'm
So
just an old person at heart.
in the United States, a bathroom had a Reader's Digest, which was a short periodical, I think monthly.
Yeah. I believe so.
Of little,
but I'm not sure.
little itty bitty stories and jokes and random things, and it was perfect
Short stories, man. That's what
for the bathroom because everything was pretty short. And if you had to go the more solid thing in the bathroom,
Number two.
it was kind of like a perfect length, maybe 1,000 words or less. But anyways, Reader's Digest now has.
You can get out a real bowl wrapper in 1,000 words.
Bowl wrapper?
Yeah, like a wrapper around.
I know. I've never heard that before.
I just made it up, baby.
How are we married? How are we married?
Well, there was this guy who said he could marry us
I'll blame
for
Mike's dad.
free.
We got married for free.
And we didn't even get out of our car.
That's not true. Anyways, the great mystery, unsolved mystery, is not why Sean and Carrie are married, because that will truly never be solved. But one of the strangest unsolved mysteries is indeed the Pollock sisters, Pollok. And our source for this is Reader's Digest. In their attempt to be more contemporary and hip, they now call themselves RD.
What? Oh yeah, I see it right here on my computer. RD.com.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so RD.com said 24% of Americans believe in reincarnation. Although scientists tend to poo-poo the possibility, every once in a while, an unsolved mystery comes around that's so compelling and otherwise unexplainable that it gives even scientists pause. And that is why we have the story of the Pollock sisters. In 1957, two young English sisters, Joanna Pollock, 11, and Jacqueline Pollock, 6, died in a tragic car accident. 1 year later, their mother gave birth to twins, Gillian and Jennifer. When the twins were old enough
Wait. The sister's biological mom gave birth to the twins?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
When the twins were old enough to talk, they began identifying and requesting toys that had belonged to their dead sisters, pointing out landmarks only their dead sisters would have known, such as the school they'd attended, and sometimes panicking upon seeing cars idling. "That car is coming to get us!" they reportedly shrieked on one occasion, but in an English accent. So
You can't do that for us, baby?
"That car is coming to get us!" I don't know what part of England they were in, so I can't do the appropriate accent. After the twins turned 5, these incidents became less frequent, and the girls went on to lead normal lives. Still, the story of the Pollock sisters made its way to Dr. Ian. Oh my God, I said Ian. Ian Stevenson, a psychologist who studied reincarnation. And after studying thousands of supposed cases, Dr. Stevenson wrote a book telling of 14 he believed to have been real, including that of the Pollock sisters.
Wow.
So the unsolved mystery is whether or not those children...
Reincarnation is real.
Yeah, and if those like little baby twins were really remembering their older sisters' lives.
How old were the original sisters when they died?
11 and 6.
That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's
Because,
that?
well, I mean, if you think about it, the mom and a lot of those memories, the mom would share those memories. Potentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if that was somehow passed down like genetically? Like the mom's memories.
Maybe. Like part of the reason people thought that they were reincarnated is because like one twin had the same birthmark on her hip that the other older dead sibling had.
Yeah.
And then the other twin had a birthmark on their forehead that matched the scar that another older kid had from falling off a bucket. And there were all these weird coincidences. So the mystery becomes like, are you seeing those coincidences because you're mourning your older kid's death and you want to believe they live on in your youngest children? Or are those...
I think that's a possibility, but other people would have to verify them as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Like,
but I think it's totally possible, but not necessarily by reincarnation. I think it could be a mental / genetic type of reincarnation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the mom knows where these birthmarks are.
Or scars.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
These identifying marks. And she is the holder of this information as it passes, unbeknownst to her, through the genetic markers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Into her kids. So maybe that's what reincarnation is. Maybe
it is, but who knows? Like, the children were very afraid of cars, and that's not a super normal fear. Like my mom was afraid of a million things that really made no sense to me as a child. Like, and so some people who believe in reincarnation would believe that that's a past life manifesting in her current life.
Right.
And some people who believe in reincarnation, I just almost stuck my finger up my nose. Some people who believe in reincarnation.
On camera, baby.
Some people who believe in reincarnation believe like pains in your body is because like maybe you're stabbed. Like I have a constant pain underneath my right shoulder blade. And so some people would say that would be because in a past life I was stabbed to death, right underneath my right shoulder.
We'll have to investigate that tonight.
No, you're not gonna investigate that, Sean. Creeper of Creeperson.
Did you look up Peru?
I'm going to, but first, Doug said the biggest mystery for those who care is there a God? And if so, what's her name?
That's probably true. That's probably a true statement right there.
That's a really big thing. That's Doug, you're right. Like, that's a big thing that so many people wonder. Like, is there a higher power in the universe? And is there meaning that is being brought down upon us in that way? What, baby?
It's like, thanks, Doug, for bringing us down.
You did not bring us down,
I'm
Doug.
just kidding.
Oh my God.
That harsh reality check.
Harsh reality. Is there a God? Is there a bigger purpose? Are we part of a divine plan?
I tell myself I am every night, but just before I go to sleep.
He does. He says it over and over. He like lies in bed right before he starts snoring like a triceratops, and he says, "Am I a part of a divine plan? Am I a part of a divine plan?"
No, I say I am.
I am.
Divine.
And then he turns it into a positive mantra, like, I am important. I have a purpose. I am important. I have a purpose. I am
Well, I used to watch Saturday Night Live back in the 80s, so.
Stewart Smalley.
That's right. He's my guru.
Do you want to talk about Stewart Smalley, or do you want to talk?
I thought you were going to look up Peru.
About John Bell's question about
Nazca Lines, yes.
The Nazca Line. So, according to trtworld.com, there are these massive lines, and they're called the Nazca Lines. And they were made by ancient humans about 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And even though they were made 2,000 years ago, they really have, like, continued unscathed, right?
What are they? Like gouges in the earth? Like those kind of lines?
They're really, really, really big. They're like, here, let me go. Here, I'll do a screen share so that the people who can see us right now versus the people who listen to us afterward can see these. Here we go. I'm sorry. It took me a second. Right. So, can you see that, babe?
Yeah.
So that's an example of one of the lines. It's basically a picture obviously drawn. It honestly looks like my art in the earth, right? Like, you've got the head, you have eyes, you have the cute little baby feet, right? And so as this reads, anthropologists believe that ancient people designed these shapes by removing 12 to 15 inches of rocks, digging deep, and revealing this lighter colored sand underneath the top sand, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing because, like, it's lasted so long. Here's another example and picture of it, right?
Yep.
Like, how cool is that?
So I'd say humans probably made that.
Right?
They could have built giant timber ladders to climb up the rocks. And that would last a lot longer than the rotting timbers of the ladders, which would have been found at the base of the rocks eventually, probably. Here,
I'm gonna try to get some more. If you look at it, it's pretty amazing.
But who and why is way beyond my pay grade.
Yeah, but how beautiful is it? Like,
it's cool.
Yeah, like, it's amazing. And if you're if you're an artist, like, how cool would it be to make something that lasts 2,000 years and it's still a mystery?
I wonder how big they are. Like,
they're huge. They're huge.
You can take like a huge giant piece of brown butcher paper and a giant piece of black pencil lead and do a rubbing.
Yeah.
If you had a man lift, that'd be cool though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do that.
Where?
We're in Peru. They probably don't like it.
I don't think that would be super cool to go to some country that you're not a resident of and then mark up the soil and...
You're not marking up the soil. You're writing on the paper. But anyways, you're right. It's that.
Okay. So John says it's several football fields big.
Yeah, see, that would take a lot of paper.
Yeah, like it's so amazing that. So the mystery behind it is like, who did this and why? Like, Art's here right now, and Art is an amazing human who lives in our community, and he is creating these paths in the ice, right? Like
the snow, the mazes,
like
right?
these beautiful, gorgeous
Designs,
mazes
yeah.
that people can then like skate through. And to me, it almost reminds me of these lines, although on a smaller scale, like this beautiful constructions in nature that evoke art and if you believe in divinity, evoke divinity almost in like their circular aspects and their closure and in their gorgeous like symmetry, and even in just the community that is created as people shovel their way through the snow on top of the ice. Like, it's this gorgeous thing, right? And in a way, it's almost like this smaller aspect or a smaller design of those lines in Peru, because it's almost, to me, in my ignorant self, like the same thing. It's like this creation of landscape art and nature art, and art galleries is going to fade and is not this permanent structure because it's made out of ice and snow, but it still exists, and it exists for the joy and the love of community, which is what art's really not art the human, but art the thing is really about, right? Like, how cool is that? Like, it's amazing to me. And I will never know exactly that understanding of those lines, but in Peru, but there's sort of like that compulsion to create this gorgeousness within the landscape, and to create something that will be remembered. And even in the act of creation, there's this beauty. Oh no, I got too esoteric and intellectual again, didn't I?
I have a question for you.
So sorry.
Is it art? Well,
Yes.
no, that's not the right word, because both of my answers are art. But is it like a creative? I have an artistic vision. That doesn't work either. But my other question is, or is it more graffiti?
Oh, graffiti's art in my head.
That's why I couldn't come up. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah.
it more of like a classical art, I guess, or is it more like graffiti art?
I really don't think that there should be a distinction.
Well, I agree with you, but I'm trying to make a distinction here just for my question.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like a kid tagging a freight train car?
Yeah,
or is it somebody who just has to get this vision out?
I still don't think there's a distinction. I think the tag in the freight train
really
car
hard.
is because you're trying to get the art out. I kind of feel like that line. Oh gosh, where are we going in this podcast?
I don't know, but that doesn't do away with my question.
Wait, ready? I don't think that there's a distinction between graffiti and fine art. And I think that
depends on the graffiti.
I don't even agree with that.
I've seen some fine graffiti.
I feel like there's like this thing that happens within artists, and they're compelled to create, right?
Right.
And I don't care what their medium is. I don't care if they're illegally creating with a spray can on the side of the Bar Harbor porta potty restroom on the ball fields on Park Street, or if they're creating on a canvas in their home. I feel like there's this compulsion and like an amazing need. And sometimes I feel like the graffiti art, right, is even more powerful because they are creating that art despite the fact that they could get in trouble for it, right?
Right.
And isn't that really what art's supposed to be about?
Oh yeah, I don't disagree at all. But now that you've been all intellectual about my question, it still stands. I'm not gonna change it.
Art was so funny. Art Gowie said, those Nazca punks were all arrested.
I know.
Yeah, and then they skateboarded and then they got arrested again. And like, oh, it was so bad.
My other statement, my other question was, way back then, the medium was actually very limited.
Yeah.
So if you had a nice soft rock you could easily carve away.
Like, why not?
Then that's where you're gonna express yourself.
Yeah, but anyways, so like I think when was that guy speaking like specifically about those lines? Eric von Daniken?
I don't know.
He was a Swedish guy and he wrote Chariots of the Gods before we were born, or at least before I was born, I think in 1968. And he said that those lines were landing sites for UFOs.
And they just happened to draw that nice bird I saw.
Yeah, like yeah. And so like that was
now see if they were just if they were just like straight lines across the earth, that's what I was gonna say. That's just where the UFO skidded to a landing forever. But that's on like vertical cliff. I mean
Doug Marshall said, I thought you meant NASCAR lines.
Well, that's just another form of art. How you lay your rubber down.
Oh, sounds naughty.
Tire rubber, not bedroom rubber. Which is just another form of art and self-expressionism.
Let my vampire lips scorn.
Sex, the ultimate form of self-expression.
Anyways, we're going to get banned off of Facebook.
We are not. I did not say anything bad.
Anyways.
What?
I think that's
it's
really...
802.
I know, but I'm like really interested in what we were talking about now because it's all about...
It has to do with art.
Yeah.
Not art gallery, but art...
Well, also Art Gowie.
Medium.
But yeah, like that line and that beautiful need to create, and how you'll find any medium if you have that compulsion, and how bigger scale art, like that landscape art, of those lines, like
the NASCAR.
Yeah.
Peruvians.
Not NASCAR racing. Like how those lines and how that creation can be a community thing. And I think so often we perceive of art as a solitary pursuit, and to a certain amount it is, but all of art, be it writing or songwriting or painting or landscape art or creating these beautiful designs in the snow that people can skate through, all of that is really like a gift and a communication to whoever receives it. And that is like the most gorgeous mystery of all. Like why are humans compelled to do that? Why do we want to create those connections? Like, I think that's one of the biggest, most beautiful unsolved mysteries, way more interesting than a dead body on a beach in Australia. But that's just me.
That's just you.
That's just me.
You're so philosophical.
I'm not philosophical. What?
Are we going to have a Kate Bush outro song?
We should have a Kate Bush outro song. Every podcast should end with a Kate Bush outro song.
Big country, at least. Please, I beg of you.
I recently told Sean, so that you all can know, that if I had to pick anybody from the late 80s that I could only listen to, like...
She said Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, I didn't, because they're not late 80s, and Sean pretended I said that. I said I would probably listen to Kate Bush of the late 80s, because I feel like Kate Bush is a brilliant artist. And those of you who don't know Kate Bush, you're like, whatever. But you should all look her up.
No.
She's a genius. She's a genius. And I love her. And we're gonna get divorced unless she come my way, man.
Oh no, we're getting divorced.
No more Leonard Skinner, my friend.
Dude,
Kate
Leonard
Bush.
Skinner, July 3rd, Bangor Waterfront.
And are you going to that concert?
We have already been to that concert once.
And it was hell.
And you loved it.
I was.
Oh my God.
There
No,
were
stop,
women
stop.
fighting in
You talked about
front
it
of me.
forever.
I talked about it forever because it was hell.
And you had a great time.
No, I did not have
Yeah,
it.
you did.
I only
And
had
you
a
were-
great.
You were rocking out with Charlie Daniels so hard.
I hate Charlie Dan.
He
It
was
was.
a bit of a punk, actually.
I don't even think he was there.
Well, he's dead now, so let's be...
Well, then he definitely wasn't there.
He was there.
He wasn't there.
Yes, he opened up.
No, there was a woman who opened up.
Yes.
A
first.
woman in leather.
Oh, my God. Yes, she was playing the fiddle or something, right?
It was
Or
ridiculously
ukulele,
stupid.
I don't know.
There were all these cops all around us jamming out, and then these women fighting with each other, and it turned out they were like the mother and the daughter like beating on each other, and it was
But you still had a good time.
worst concert I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
the worst
What are
concert.
you going to pick the next one? Except I'm not going to John Gorka.
John Gorko's beautiful. He's so lovely. I love John Gorka.
Okay, baby.
All right,
It's
so
8:06.
once again,
You digress.
let us finish with the greatest mystery of all time. How are Sean and Carrie married? God knows.
Because she needed some adventure in her life.
I don't even know. Linda, before we go, I'm so glad you're in a cool art therapy class. I bet you're making beautiful things. If your poems are any evidence, I bet you're creating so many gorgeous things. I'm so glad to hear that. Also, I miss you. All right, ready? Outro. Sean, do you want to say thank you to everybody who put up with us and listened?
Thank you, everybody, for putting up with us and listening. And someday you'll have something better to do on a Friday night, I promise.
Or Saturday morning, Sayera. Dee, we love you. John Bell, we love you.
We love you all.
Linda, Liz, Christopher, Art,
Have a great weekend.
Susie. Have a
Great,
brilliant
wonderful weekend.
and make art and make mysteries in your own life like we do every day. Why are we married? I don't know.
Thank you for listening to Loving the Strange. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Go get your strange on, friends. Thanks for listening.